Welcome back to the final recap of Southern Charm, the reunion,
Season 10.
season 10, which we thought it was going to be the final season after the first half of the
I
season.
did, but I think they're coming back.
Well, yeah, Madison saved them getting preggers. Now we
Yeah,
can see the
maybe.
baby, all that.
Well, no, and Craig maybe a little bit saved them by, getting dumped
Oh, yeah, because
because
he'll
we're
be
going to
dating
see him
again.
dating again.
Yeah.
And Shep was dumped. I want to know, I'm looking at the couch. Has anybody not slept with somebody there? I mean, I think Rodrigo is the only one that hasn't slept with somebody on that couch.
If the other gay guy comes for the next installment, that idea goes out the window.
Okay, because no, Venita. Okay.
No, because Ryan did oh no, Rodrigo said he's been with his partner for how long? 10 years or something or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, but I meant because he's gay, he hadn't slept with any of the men there. That's what
And
I meant.
Ryan's married, so there's a
Right.
very off chance that maybe they haven't slept together.
Okay. Now, Madison has slept with,
We don't need
uh,
to go through all this. We've
no,
done this
Madison
before.
was with Shep.
Yes. Benita's been with
I'm
JT.
sorry,
Leva
Austin.
hasn't been
Oh,
with
no,
anyone.
Venita and JT said they hadn't crossed the.
Yeah, but they like
I don't
dabbled.
believe that. I
But
don't
Leva
believe
hasn't been
that.
with anyone.
Yeah, because she's married. But otherwise, they've all swapped spit.
Okay.
No, really. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
saying. You know what I mean?
Oh no, but also like Molly,
Molly's been with Shep.
Shep. But what
I
about
don't think Taylor, we're going to see her again.
yeah, you and I guarantee you that Craig made out with Sally, even
Oh,
though they
without a
go on more
doubt.
dates.
Yeah, yeah, without a doubt. Though he's seeing somebody. Who's he seeing?
The Branson girl or whatever, some influencer model.
Mm. Oh, that's right. I saw her picture, but I think they hooked up.
What, the one he's with or Sally?
No, Sally.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
without a doubt, because I noticed that Sally was going after JT in what I thought was an unnatural way.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I thought she was too aggressive with JT, trying to impress Craig
They had hung
because
out the night before.
yes, because she wanted to be Team Craig, hoping that, there would be more there for
Yeah.
her. And I thought she was being unnecessarily nasty to JT, who really never did anything to her. Just the way when he sat down and he's got to sit beside me. And then I was noticing it, and she's like, "Ooh, Craig's free. So maybe I can get into that."
What did you
And
think of the original casting tape?
oh, is epic. It's
Craig is great in it. You can't make this shit up.
No, and he is delusional.
I'm
I
going to
mean,
law school. I'm not going to law school. I've graduated law school. I haven't graduated law school. I can't take the
the
bar. I
whole
can't take the
thing.
bar.
I mean, Craig, there is a part of me that Craig, he even said it when it came to Paige, he was like, had this fantasy of like what their life was going to be like, and it
Yep.
was never going to be like that. So
Oh
he
yeah.
really doesn't live in reality. He
Not at all.
doesn't. No, he has a, what do they call that? Disassociation disorder or something,
Something
where
like
he's
that.
like not really based in reality. He's off
Munchausen.
somewhere else. No, Munchausen is when you make up a disease you don't have.
Mm.
You have that. Um, I do think Craig's a liar. I do. I'm sorry. He's charming and he's handsome but he's a liar.
He's an embellisher.
Embellisher. He embellishes. Yeah.
Because, like, when you lie, it's like saying truly something that isn't true versus I am going to take this small amount of truth and make it into something bigger.
Yeah. And I felt bad that he said that, JT said that and he didn't. He didn't say it. And he stands by it.
And I
And
still don't
everybody
think
sort
he
of
did.
knows that. I
I
don't
don't
think
think
he
that
did either.
No, no, I don't think that I don't think that JT, one thing that I have to clarify here, and I would wonder what our listeners think, is there a difference between calling someone a bitch and saying someone was acting a little bitchy?
Yeah, there's a difference to me.
Because I
Yeah.
could maybe see
Because
JT being
sometimes
like,
people are, but sometimes people are like in a bitchy mood,
yeah, or
but
like
they're not
JT
a
being
bitch.
like,
Yeah.
Miss Pat didn't seem like welcoming, like she seemed like she was in a bitchy mood,
Yeah. Well, she
versus
probably was because
Miss
it's
Pat's a
always hot.
bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
There's a
it's different.
difference.
Well, Miss Pat's hot and she's always wearing a caftan. It's 100 degrees when they film. I'd be unhappy too. You know what I love though? When they showed the tape, the pilot tape from 10 years ago, when Michael gave her a cocktail she didn't say anything. She goes, "Oh, Michael." And when you see her do that, like she's looking at the tape, and when Michael hands her the cocktail on the tray, she goes, "Oh, Michael." And I thought, wow, she genuinely loved him and misses him.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
think
I
she
mean, it was
genuinely
so
loves Madison
genuine.
too.
Yeah, she well, yeah, Madison's a lot to love, but
You should do her hair.
I don't know why Madison is so much on JT either. I just don't. I think all of this aggression on JT is that he's an easy target, more so than they have something. They want to be mad at someone. And if a girl goes after another girl, they're classified as bitches. And so they need someone. The guys can go after JT, the girls can go after JT. And I mean, maybe somebody should go after Venita because,
For what?
for continue, she still loves him. He's
Yeah.
got a girlfriend. She's in there bringing him champagne or the orange juice or whatever the hell. She's not letting up pursuing him. But nobody is saying, "Hey, Vanita, you didn't answer his text. You sort of ghosted him. So he went out with somebody else and that burned you. But you didn't answer him. I
No, no.
mean, you don't get an answer for a
He was
week."
already with the girl. The girl texted her, sent her a DM. That's why
I
she
un-
gave him space.
I understand that, but he
So she
wanted
didn't
to
ghost
talk.
him
But well, she did. She didn't
after
get back to
he got
him
shit
though.
from the girl, though.
I know, but she didn't get back to him and he reached out. I don't I think I didn't think JT did anything wrong.
Okay.
I don't. I think JT is being made a villain and he's not. I think Vanita has some responsibility here. She can't stop pursuing him. She's madly in love with him.
Oh, yeah, that's for certain.
Yeah, and she keeps at it even though it's just not working out. Haven't you had a relationship where you keep on trying and you really love the person, but it's just not working out? I
Yeah,
would
like
say that's her
every
and JT.
relationship before the one I'm currently in.
Well, I mean, like, you want it to work, but it's really not meant to work, and you try too hard. Any relationship you really have to try hard to make work is probably too much work because a good
Oh,
relationship shouldn't be work.
yeah, even if it's not great.
Even if it just shouldn't be work. That's
Yeah,
how
that's
I
why
feel.
that's
I
why like
totally
my
oh,
partner and I don't focus on working on things because we're like, yeah, we're kind of tragic. We're already where we're at. We love each other, but
well,
we're not gonna try to fix it, something we know isn't fixable. We're just gonna take it for its fractured self for what it is.
okay, but it shouldn't be work. Like Venita and JT at work, just sort of like Austin and Craig is work.
Yeah.
It's too much work. It shouldn't be that much work, a friendship. It should just happen.
I think that one thing we're also seeing, it's
That's
really
how I
hard to come on these ensemble shows.
Yeah.
If you put in too much, like that you're a character that people really like, like it's just you have to fit a certain mold to be someone like Molly, in my opinion, seems like she inserted herself in a way that was really good. Like she didn't get into any beef.
Yes.
She was
Yeah.
funny. She brought the tuba. Like she did
Yeah.
funny things.
Yeah.
Sally, I don't think she did enough.
No, I think she's a mean girl,
No, no,
Sally.
I don't even think that we saw that. I don't think we saw any
Yeah,
of
I
it. I think
don't
she
know what
played
it
it way
is I
too
like about
safe.
her.
I
And you
think
know what else really, really irritated me at this reunion
what?
is that Sam Molly was talking about her body having gained weight.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I think she looks
She looks
great.
great, but it's her body and she knows what she used to look like. So
Yes, but you know what? Not one person on that couch, either couch, said, "Oh, come on, girl, you look great."
they may have been edited or like
Well, if they edited it, they made them all look like a bunch of tools because the guys should have said, "You look good." I mean, especially after Whitney had insulted her so bad with, "Oh, she can miss a dinner and you don't need another cupcake." One of them should have said, "Well, you look great. Don't worry
Craig,
about
well,
it."
Craig
As,
did say
especially the
like that was
women.
messed up.
He said that's messed up, but he didn't say that's messed up and you look good.
Do
He
you think
should
that
have.
Whitney maybe knew about Molly's insecurity issues because she had been filming already and he's an exec producer and she brought that
Yeah.
up in her confessionals?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't think that he
Because
would have
then he
thought that.
weaponized it. I think he
Yeah,
weaponized it, which he's just a creep, Whitney. You notice that Miss Pat was on, but Whitney wasn't. You know why? Because he has no redeeming qualities,
I know.
Whitney.
No, I agree. Like,
None at all. And the way. Austin. You know what? Austin is up Craig's behind. Like Austin is up Craig's. He constantly wants to be loved by Craig. He does. They have a bromance and it's one-sided. Austin loves Craig. Craig only loves Craig. It
Oh, see, I look
reminds
at it
me,
totally differently. I look at it
yeah.
as Austin's trying is hanging by a thread to try to keep Craig in his circle, but doesn't really want him in his circle. That's how I see it.
Oh, I don't know. I see a lot of Sutton and Kyle there.
I really look at it as Austin like trying to say like I think that he misses his friend, but at the same time he
No.
doesn't want his friend to go down the path that he's gone down and like all that. Like I think I don't know. I think Austin's in a very good place and the best place he's
I do too. I agree with that. Now, what did you think of talking about Miss Pat? What did you think of her assessment of Miss Paige DeSorbo when she said that she thought she never liked her and she was borderline rude and dismissive?
I think that it's really hard to I just think that like what could Paige have done? Paige is not from Charleston.
Yeah,
Paige is
she's
not a
not.
Southern Belle. That's not
No,
what she
she's not.
wants to
That's
be.
right. Right.
And I hate to say this, but like Paige is like, I don't know if Miss Pat would knows this, agrees with this, has the wherewithal to understand it. Paige is more successful than every single person on that show,
Well,
including
that
herself.
doesn't matter though. See, that's the thing where we are like, I don't care for Paige. I also don't want Summer House. Now, you like Paige because she's a big influencer.
I have respect for the career she has, which is bigger than
Totally.
everyone on the Southern
I
Charms.
get that. But that doesn't mean she's a nice person.
No, but I think you have to consider
That's the
what
thing.
does her like this isn't someone sitting in New York not wanting to come down and film. This
What
is
is it?
someone who is like has a staff, a team, is constantly hustling and making money and like this is not the show that she signed up for.
No, I get that. But
And
I
I
don't,
think, I think Craig and Paige were both coming on each other's shows at first because let's call it what it is, they were less busy.
not only that, but I want to say, how long were they together? Like 2 years?
Yeah, they weren't together that long either.
Were they together like 2 years?
Barely. And that's not a long time for this kind of a breakup. It wasn't
N-
Sandoval and Ariana.
correct. But time doesn't equal intensity. Remember
Oh, no,
that.
no, no. I think intensity
Um,
came out because Paige is a
but
megastar.
I want to say if they were together like a normal couple, they would have broken up after 6 months, not 2 years, because their time together was limited.
I also want to tell you, I don't think Craig is able to be with someone that has their own life.
No,
Craig
I don't
wants
think it's
someone to
that.
support
I'm going to
him.
tell you, I'm going with one they met on a show. So that was interesting. Then they became like a celebrity couple, for lack of a better term. It benefited both of their careers. They've spent very little time. They might have went out for a year and a half, 2 years, but I bet if you actually saw
Well,
the
they were
actual,
good friends before they went out.
okay, well that's fine. If you put the time they actually spend together, I bet you it was the equivalent to like a 6 month relationship.
I just think we're thinking about this too much. I think Paige blew up like a star and no one could have
I
predicted it.
don't think I think with or without the blowing up, they would have broken up. Because
Maybe,
they that's what I'm
maybe,
saying. I
but
don't think it had to do with her success. I think it had to do with the fact their relationship had run its course.
well, I think a big part of her success had to do with the fact that Craig was says I was willing to move to New York, but why would you have moved to New York if she wasn't going to be there all the time? Just to sit there?
Yeah, but not only that, I just the base this relationship wasn't based on facts, so to speak. It wasn't based in reality.
They
It
didn't
was
meet on a
based
they didn't have this they very much dated behind the scenes, not on camera. No one knew about it for a long time, and then they announced
well, it
it.
can't be a long time. They only dated for a year and a half. A
Yeah,
long
but they
time
were
would be
friends
five
behind the
years.
scenes for a while that no one knew about.
Okay, just say a while. Don't
They
say a long
weren't on
time.
it. They were on one show, like they barely were on a show together, and I think they were already dating. They just were friends through Bravo.
Yeah, like they all are. They met through Bravo.
Yeah, so like I just think that the reality is that like they like I just think that their lives went in different directions and Unfortunately, Paige's doesn't align with Craig's now, but Craig's does align with Paige. The reality is she's just outgrown him.
I don't think it's she outgrew him. I think their relationship ran its course. And I don't think it would have lasted as long as it did if they were two people who lived in the same city all the time. I think the fact that they saw each other once a week or whatever made it fresh and exciting. And it was like, I'm flying to see you. I'm flying to see you. I'm flying to see you. And it made it something interesting. That's what I think.
I honestly though have to say
I'm
that I
not going to
think
miss Paige. That's what I'm going to say.
you don't even know Paige.
Well, I know what she gave me on this show.
Yeah, but this wasn't her show. She
It
didn't get
doesn't
paid to be
matter.
on it.
I only
Nothing.
know what she gave me on this show because I
See,
don't watch her other shows.
I also have to say that if she was getting paid to be on Southern Charm, there's a good chance that they couldn't afford what she needed to come and film more.
Well, that's fine. But if she was an actual cast member, I could make an
She was never a
opinion
cast
of her.
member,
If she was an actual cast member, I would be able to form a complete opinion of her.
but she's
But
not a
because
cast member on this show.
I understand that, but I'm still telling you from what I have seen of her, what I think of her.
See, I
And
think you
I
and her are so
agree
similar in that you guys
that,
have a
well, maybe
similar
that's why I don't
humor.
care for her.
I think you'd love her on Summer House. She doesn't put up with any BS. She's like she makes on she's like super like funny.
I
She's like
do
she's
think I don't think that she was very kind to Craig, but Craig, it could be, listen, it could be Craig because Naomi wasn't kind to Craig either.
it
So it
also
could
could
be
be that Craig's
Craig.
way too sensitive.
Way too, well, he's a gaslighter
Yeah.
and he's fragile. Oh, he's so
I think
fragile.
Paige needs an uber confident guy that has a busy life that sees the value in like I just there is this narrative out there in
He is
society,
sensitive. I
and
wonder
I
when's
don't
his
care what you
birthday.
think of these people, but we see it all the time. How many stars have we seen start dating someone, and then as their star grows, the other person's doesn't, and they just like grow out of it? Like Taylor Swift and every guy before Travis Kelsey. It's like it wasn't because of everything. How can you date someone who isn't moving when you're moving so fast?
Yeah, I don't think that was their problem. I think they just, I think their relationship ran its course. You
You
know,
think that if
most
Craig had said,
relationships last like 2 years because there's a honeymoon phase, and then they like fall in love, and they're like, "Oh, it's so wonderful, we're in love," and then by the end of 2 years, they've had it with each other, and it never worked out.
you're telling me that if Craig got a deal with like the biggest home show in the country and for 10 weeks straight was going and selling pillows at conventions, or got a deal with QVC and was on TV once a
He
month or
was.
whatever, that and he was busy like that, that he and Paige wouldn't have found a way to like probably even last a little longer. I think the reality is that Craig's older. He's getting older. His business is rooted in where he lives.
I, I, I'm just telling you, my experience in life is different. And I think their relationship is the equivalent of like a 6-month relationship,
I just
and
have
it
to, I
ran
have
its course.
empathy because of the fact that, and I think you should
Why?
too. If you tomorrow told your husband you were going on a 60 city tour with me, and
He'd say bye.
he'd probably come and annoy us half the time too. But
I don't know.
no, actually he wouldn't. But
No, he
he's
wouldn't.
different.
That's what I'm
He's
saying.
different. My partner, I would have to hire a security guard for him.
No, that's your problem.
But I'm just saying, like,
Maybe you're projecting.
I am a little bit because I
Okay,
think that Paige
maybe.
supported Craig a lot. And I don't think it was reciprocated. And the reason why is because I think Paige needed more support than Craig did because Paige is a much bigger star and she has a lot more going on.
Well, that's interesting. All right. Well, I'm kind
Imagine
of
she's
glad this
hosting
is
the
over.
Amazons. She's hosting the fashion shows on the carpet. She's on a 60 city tour. Her
Okay,
podcast.
enough. You know what?
Do you know
I
how
just
much that Craig was and Austin were talking about buying each other out of the podcast?
Yeah, yeah,
That's how much
yeah.
Paige makes more an episode of her podcast than that
No,
of
I
mine.
understand that.
That's
I
what we're
get that.
comparing here.
No, yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with anything. I still think that their relationship, no matter what, even if they were in the same city, would have ended. Period.
I'd love to hear
That's
if Paige thinks Craig changed because my thought is this: when Paige and Craig met, he was the star, he was the established reality star, he was far more even important to Bravo. And by the
Okay.
time this all ended, Paige is so far past him when it comes to not Bravo. Craig may still even be a bigger star on Bravo, but he is not when it comes to the real world.
Yeah. Well, and I think he was lousy to Austin too. I really do. With the whole Ivy Tower and the whole I don't like when Austin drinks. It makes me mad and all this.
I don't
Ugh.
like when Craig drinks.
I don't like I you know what? At the end of this, I was like, I always like Craig. I didn't like Craig this season.
How about this? I actually like it when they all drink a lot and make fools out of themselves.
I didn't like Craig this season. I didn't like Taylor. She's gone. Madison has a storyline. Austin didn't give us a lot this year. Craig didn't give us that much. Actually, none of them gave us a lot this year. You know who gave us the most? JT and Venita. Out of everybody, they gave
And
us the most
Madison
story. And Madison because of her husband's ill and
and
everything.
Shep, freckled lips.
Well, she had freckled lips. I know, but it still would have been good if she showed up.
Oh, it would have been great. I just think
I
that we have to remember that it just shows what Paige and Craig's relationship looked like going into the filming of the
You're
season.
obsessed with Craig and Paige.
Because I just think that there's this like
You're
I just think that
obsessed.
we have to remember that they filmed for 3 months straight, and if the relationship was on the outs, Miss Pat, what do you think Paige is gonna do? Show up and be like, "Oh, I love you, Craig. You're amazing." I just wish. Did she think she was mean last year?
Who, Paige?
I don't think she was.
No, but I think that was her exhibiting. She was on her way out.
Yes, this season.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
but
she was
so for
over
Miss
him.
Pat to say Paige was mean, I'm like, how much time have you spent with Paige, Miss Pat?
Right.
So
All right. Well, they're gonna, we're done. I was done with this show. I was done with this show, and then I stayed done with the show.
yeah,
Which means they need to do something. They need to bring Catherine Calhoun Dennis back in next year.
maybe.
And maybe Austin's lover,
No.
girlfriend, should be on the show in some way.
Oh, good luck with that. He's probably keeping her off for a reason.
I'm just saying that having these, and maybe Gaston, if Taylor comes back, needs to actually be on the show.
Oh, I think I already told you that. I think that that's going to be a requirement for her to
Yeah,
come back.
I mean, enough of this. Like with Beverly Hills, Kyle, you need to have Morgan on the show. Um,
I don't
Austin
want
needs
to see Morgan
Audrey.
on this show.
Oh
Talk
my
about
God.
obsessed. People
Oh.
are obsessed with Morgan.
All right. Well, this was season 10
Can we
of
obsess over a Sutton Scratch
Southern
driver that she made
Charm.
out with as much as Morgan?
Well, I'm done with Southern Charm. I mean, I'll be next year. Maybe I'll be happy to see them come back.
Yeah.
I
I
felt
don't know.
I felt the whole season was tired.
They are having an identity crisis.
Yeah, it was tired. They have
Yeah,
growing pains, adolescence.
totally. All right. Love you guys.
Guys,
Follow,
thanks for tuning
subscribe,
in. You can
comment.
still follow us on our other shows on our channel.
Love you.